going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome into the CHGO Bulls podcast presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook. Top-rated! Don't forget to use that promo code CHGO when you download their app and sign up. I'm Peck. You can follow me on Twitter at Bulls_Peck. My guys, Big Dave is at BAWL Sports. Will the GOAT, Will_Gottlieb.
He grown.
Also in your face. Our pal and producer Joey rocking the controls with us here in our West Loop studios. Follow that man on Twitter at Joey Spathis. Where are we on the climb to 1K, young Joseph? I feel like I saw recently you're 900 something.
Ooh, yeah, so you know what? I think I was at 901 or something, 900 when we were leaving Paris, and I am now at 898.
Oh,
so
maybe it was a bot sweep.
Progress isn't linear.
Maybe it was a bot sweep.
Yeah, you know what? I like to blame it on Elon, but
as you should.
Who knows? I've been off my game recently.
We're very close to 6,000.
Hey,
like 55,883.
Did we ever settle on what happens to who when we get to 6K?
Uh-huh.
Will has to dress up like his twin brother, Kyle Korver.
He does.
Is that written on paper?
It's
somewhere?
written in blood, Will.
Okay.
In blood.
We'll see if you can put the contract in front of me.
Now it's got to be a contract.
Yeah, it's a contract.
Wow. No.
I did see Kyle.
You did something you didn't want to do. I did something I didn't want to do.
True story.
I saw Kyle Korver when the Hawks were here because he's like in their front office now.
Yeah.
And it just reminded me that I'm gonna have to dress up like this guy on TV one day.
That's a flex.
Did it also
just reminded me I look like Kyle.
Did it also remind
me
you
of this stupid thing that you guys are gonna make me do
when the Bulls had a 3-point shooter like Kyle Korver? Yeah, I saw somebody in our comments, I think during last night's postgame or maybe Saturday, was like, can we sign Kyle Korver back? It's like, no, he's got a job. He's got a front office job. Good for him.
Nicholas, these are real windows, by the way. These are not fake.
These are real windows.
These are real. Matt has tried to jump out of them several times because of this Bulls team. And
fake windows.
So.
I love that.
Fake windows.
What do you think? Everything behind us is like a green screen or something?
No, everything is.
No, that's very real.
Much real windows. You know my favorite part about those windows?
What's that?
You can see the Sears Tower out of them.
This is true.
Just right over there.
Just right over there.
How long have you been waiting to ask that question? Always wanted to ask. I'm curious how long that's been on your mind.
Also, why now? Why did you wait so long to ask that, and why now?
I don't know.
Today?
I'm glad we can answer that, man, and get you off on your merry way, sir.
Indeed. Or stick around for an hour
or
and
stick
then get you on your merry way. All right, plenty to get to on today's show. The Bulls did have a practice today. Some news came out of that, including some injury updates. And then on the back end of the show, we'll dive into the latest on this NBA buyout market and maybe some names that are still attached to the Bulls. Will they or won't they? / should they? But first, okay, Dave, I know you wanted to dive into some recent struggles DeMar DeRozan's been having and kind of like taking a more holistic look at his season compared to last.
Nice word.
Let's start, though, with Will. You were at this morning's practice, and we found out, or you found out, I should say, at practice that DeMar had an MRI. Let's get a little scoop here on what exactly is going on with DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah, basically he has been, to your point, kind of out of it these last few games. Last night afterwards, he was talking about some pain that he had in his thigh or quad or hip, and he got an MRI this morning. It turns out he has a grade 1 thigh strain. Billy Donovan said that it does not seem too serious. Grade 1 is obviously lower level of importance than a grade 2 or 3.
Sure.
So
it's like the opposite of DEF CON.
It's the opposite of DEF CON situation. Hopefully he's not out too long, but he will not be traveling with the Bulls to Indianapolis. He was not like officially ruled out, although it seems like he's pretty much ruled out. And they're hoping that he can get some treatment in today and tomorrow and then be ready to go for Bucks on Thursday for the last game before the All-Star break. That feels a little rushed to me, but like they're going to take it day by day. Obviously, he's not the kind of guy that wants to sit out if he doesn't have to. So we'll see what happens. But to your point, I mean, he just has not been playing at the all-star level that we're accustomed to seeing, and you have to imagine this is part of it.
There you go, GOAT. That's what you got from Billy earlier.
There it is. Yes.
So there's that quote from Billy.
Thank you for putting that graphic together. That was late notice.
Don't know if he re-aggravated it or just bothering him, and it's always been there. There's enough discomfort there for him when he's having a hard time moving, cutting, and jumping. And yeah, this reminds me of when he first missed a couple of games before the Paris trip, right? And he said, well, yeah, it's been kind of bugging me, and I've been just playing through it for like 8 or 9 games now.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, DeMar,
Yeah.
you iron horse. I love you.
He is.
But also now it seems like something similar is cropping up again. Because back then, didn't they call it like a quad injury?
Yeah.
And so now they're calling it a thigh strain.
Correct.
After the MRI. So I assume that this is one and the same injury that's been lingering and hampering him for, going on a month now.
Yeah, and that's crazy. And honestly, just to speak to the toughness of DeMar DeRozan, if you look up grade one, I always like to look up what doctors say how long you should be out. And they said, well, if you're an athlete, you should be out about 3 weeks and from non-sports activity for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And DeMar DeRozan is like, give me a couple days. I'll be back out there on the floor. That means if he's playing Thursday, I'm pretty sure he's going to want to play in an all-star game.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? No matter how long or how many minutes. Hopefully the coach is nice about that, his minutes. But my goodness, man, like the toughness of this dude right here is crazy, man. Like a normal 3-week injury is a couple days to him, and he'll be back on the floor trying to score 30 a game.
And I mean, I think, obviously, not part of the medical staff, not a doctor, not DeMar's personal advisor, but like it probably makes sense for him to take these 2 games off, take the week off for All-Star break, and actually try to get healthy for the Bulls to make a run. But he missed those 3 games leading up to the Paris trip. Obviously, missed that 1 game last week against Memphis. But these last 7 games, 18.6 points, 6 assists, 3 rebounds, shooting 46% from the field. I mean, that's just like significantly lower than the production we're used to seeing.
Right.
And if the Bulls are going to have any chance of getting into the play-in, let alone making some noise and hopefully getting into the playoffs, DeMar's got to be all-star DeMar.
Yeah, and Dave, I know you have a few more stats about this and free throw attempts and that kind of stuff, but I was looking at his splits today, and to just kind of jump off what you were saying, Will, as far as his field goal percentage, he's actually shooting a touch better overall this season than last season. Last season he shot 50.4% from the field, which for a guy who shoots as much as DeMar does from the mid-range is ridiculous. This season, it's 50.7. It's actually up a little bit, even with this slump. But you mentioned the 46.6% in the month of February. Compare that to his field goal percentage spanning from October through January. That was at 51.1%.
It's crazy.
It's a 5% drop-off in these February games so far.
And his three-point shot, like he was shooting 35 last year, he's shooting 32 this year. So he's still in that range of what he normally is. And, of course, the numbers are down as far as scoring. Like you said, 25 a game. He was almost 30 a game last season. But there's some other things that go into that, as to why he isn't at that level. But, yeah, the numbers are still good. He's still an all-star. He's still DeMar DeRozan.
But this is exactly – I've brought it up before. This is exactly what we talked about before the season of let's say DeMar is 95% of what 2021, 2022 DeMar is.
Yeah.
What happens to the Bulls in that case? And we're seeing it.
Yeah, especially in all of these games that the Bulls are losing in the fourth quarters because DeMar is not quite as nuclear in the fourth as he was last season. And the Bulls don't have any other answers for how to get good possessions and win close games late.
Correct.
When you look at their win-loss record in these clutch games this season, it bad.
It bad. Not good. It bad.
It is. Dave, you said you wanted to talk about his free throws a little bit, right?
Yeah, and a couple other things I wanted to get into as far as DeMar DeRozan and what he's been doing this year. Joey, could you put that up for me? Because some of this stuff was really interesting to me. Now, obviously, a lot has been spoken about, his scoring when he scores over 30.
Right.
But what caught me was the fact that last year, you're 19-11, the fact you have 11 losses already. This season was what was alarming to me.
They got more than 11 losses this year.
Correct. But, the fact you have 11 when he scores 30 already, what I'm saying? Like, let you know where this season is going.
And way fewer wins.
Correct. And way fewer wins, as you see 5 and 11. Looks like a Bears record. Double-digit free throw attempts. Now, that's what I was saying to you, Will, as far as when he was averaging the 25 that he is. There's reasons why he's not getting that, or it's not close to 30 like it was. This is one of the reasons for me. As you can see this year, he's had 11 games where he's had double-digit free throw attempts. Last year, as a total, it was 22. That might not be fair to some people. So when did he have 11?
Yeah.
He had 11 by January 3rd.
So over a month, like a month and a half ago,
yes,
basically.
by a month and a half ago,
he had
was
the same
already
number
there.
double-digit free throw games
Correct.
as he has now.
Correct. And that's very, very telling for me as far as DeMar DeRozan is concerned. And he hasn't had double-digit free throws, I believe, in the last 5-6 games. He hasn't reached that plateau yet. So it's been a struggle for him to get to the line, which is why you've seen him, I think, have more technical fouls.
Got one
this
last
season.
night.
Yeah. Correct. He had them last year for sure, but I think you've seen more of it. I believe he's in double digits right now as far as technical fouls are concerned. And what's the number when you get suspended? Is it 15 or 16?
Something like that.
Okay, around that number you get suspended. When for the tech. I don't think he's going to get there, but I just find that very telling that he's there right now. And then there was another one I was looking at. Joey, can you show me the other one, please? That was the second one I was looking at for DeMar DeRozan. Now, the games where he was scoring under 20 points, last year he only did that 12 times. He's done that 15 times already this season.
Wow.
And for me, that plays into obviously what's been going on with the team, but also the injury that we were talking about, like his quad and his thigh. I think that plays into it too. He's struggling to hit those numbers right there. And that the single-digit scoring is what really hit me in the chest, because last year it didn't happen at all. But this year he's done it twice, and he did it early on. He had 2 games where he had 9 points total. Go ahead.
Sorry, I think one of those games he may have left early due to injury, but it's all tied together.
Yeah,
and it's the injuries, it's the way that the Bulls are playing offense now and not trying to rely so heavily on DeMar. It's all factoring in to the same thing, but the outcome is what we're talking about, and that I think is, we're almost 60 games into the season here, and we still kind of don't have a good feel for what works to get this team going. Whether it's balance between Zach and DeMar, whether it's not relying too heavily on DeMar and going through Vooch and how that factor. It's just like it seems way more complex this year. It feels like a much harder puzzle to solve for whatever reason. But obviously, like, none of that really matters if DeMar is going to be hurt or not playing his best.
Joey, can you put that second one back up for me, please?
I wanted him to put it back up because I wanted to take another glance at DeMar giving himself a wedgie. I just noticed that as Joey was breaking it down.
Oh, Joseph.
That is a fantastic picture.
But what I wanted to back up for was the asterisk I put right there. The fact that he has scored under 20 points his last 4 games.
Yeah.
And I put that there because of the injury that we're talking about.
Right.
You see it bothering him. You see it plaguing him and messing with him. And if he says he's hurt, he's hurt.
Yeah.
Because he's not going to tell you anything's wrong. Like you said, Will, you just don't know, you know what I'm saying, how he's feeling or what's going on with him.
There's a reason he's played the most games of any player in the NBA since 2010.
Correct. Absolutely right.
Wild.
And then the other thing when we were talking about the help, because I said, well, maybe people will look at those free throw numbers and say, well, that's not fair. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Zach is the one getting to the line then. Maybe he's getting those opportunities. In Zach's last 13 games, he's had double-digit free throws once. One time. So
he did have 8 last night. I feel like there have been a handful of games where he has close to 10.
Yeah, and that's the point I'm making.
Right.
He's leading them now in free throw attempts, but he's not getting to the line. You know what I'm saying? And Will, you talked about that too, about how if you can't get to the line, it's going to be very hard to win in this league. Zach has historically not been able to get to the line. So now if you're relying on him to be the one that gets to the line instead of DeMar DeRozan, you're going to be 26 and 31. That's what's going to happen to you, man. So it's been a struggle. Like I said, a lot of this I don't put on DeMar at all because he's just been a horse. He's an all-star again for this team, man. But that injury clearly bothering him, and teams are double-teaming him more. You saw it again yesterday in the fourth quarter. Orlando, as soon as he touched the ball, double-team on DeMar DeRozan. And he's not getting the calls that he was getting previously, which is leading to him being more upset and things like that. But, yeah, man, it's not good. And if your star is doing like that too, it's not good all around for the team.
Yeah, Antoine in the comments pointing out that he agrees with you that maybe he's not getting the calls from the refs that he got last season, which, as established of a vet, a multi-time all-star vet as DeMar is, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Why would he get those calls last year and not this year?
Yeah.
But, I mean, his usage is down from last season. You were talking about how much this team and this offense relies on DeMar, Will. His usage was 31.8% last year. That's huge for a guy like DeMar. It's down to just under 28.5 this season. So a 3 percentage drop-off in his usage percentage compared to last season. And in this recent stretch of games, I believe that usage percentage is even a few points lower than 28, which is what it's at for the season. Which I think most Bulls fans would say that's a good thing. DeMar with a usage percentage over 30, you want to see more balance than that.
Sure.
And we have seen some games recently where the balance of how many shots he's getting up versus, Zach and Vooch, the other two of the three musketeers on this team, it has looked more balanced at times. And I feel like most people would assume that that is a good thing.
Yeah.
But with this other element of what's going on with DeMar being the injury, you put all that together and, yes, I'm in favor of DeMar not having that much on his plate, but we still ideally need him to be as wildly efficient as he was last year for this team to be any good.
Well, and you need all the other stuff to work too. And I think that's the conversation we've been having for weeks now, which is if you are not going to be a high volume 3-point shooting team or high efficiency, as we've seen over the last 5 games, you've got to be able to do a couple of things. You've got to be able to get the free throw line. You've got to shoot incredibly efficiently on all of your other shots, and you can't turn the ball over. And they're doing all those things not good enough. I mean, it just simply has not been good enough. And that's how you run into the situation where you're scoring 89 points a game. You're scoring 90 points a game. They need to generate more offense. A lot of it comes from DeMar and just like the way that they're trying to play. But, I tweeted a video of this out last night. Billy was talking about it. We've all been talking about how many open threes guys pass up.
Oh my gosh, that video that you posted on Twitter?
Great video.
Good Lord.
It's brutal. Like they're just giving away points. And not only that, but they're turning down shots to drive into traffic or to throw it away or to get the ball to DeMar with 3 seconds on the shot clock and now he's got to create something. And it's just like the overall weight that has on your offense is even more than just the opportunity cost of a made or missed three.
Fact.
And so it's the fact that now DeMar isn't so ball dominant that he's not getting to the free throw line and getting easy, shots, easy additional points throughout the course of the game. It's the fact that they aren't getting to the rim enough.
Yeah.
They're like 28th in drives and 29th in paint touches or something like that. I put it in my story. That means that they're not collapsing the defense. That means that they're not kicking the ball out. That means that they're not getting those open threes. And even if they do, the guys aren't shooting them. Yeah. So I think it's just like all these things, this domino effect of all these things that they need to do better, that they're not doing good enough, that makes them lose confidence in the things that they need to do. And I think that's why Patrick is struggling. It's why Io is struggling. It's why they're passing up shots. And it's what is causing the Bulls to just get into these offensive ruts.
And it's not for me just giving away points. For me, it's more so you're giving away rhythm. And because like you said, like when you're running your offense and they're getting you the shot, you have to take it to not put so much pressure, like you just stated, on your offense or on DeMar DeRozan. You have to shoot it. I honestly don't care if it goes in, but you have to shoot it to keep the rhythm of the game correct because you don't know what's going to happen after that. Everybody has an opportunity at the basketball after that. So give them an opportunity. If guys are posted up ready to get a rebound, but you don't take the shot, well, now the lane is clogged. And then you want to drive into it, well, then chaos was about to occur. Then shot clock
the
violations,
defense
then
gets
steals
reset,
and turnovers.
or you end up turning it over and they get like that's what Billy was talking about last night. Is like, of course, when you miss your first 16 threes, like guys are going to get in their heads. But it's this idea of now you're driving into traffic, the defense gets a stop, and now you've got to reset the offense with 5 seconds to go. Or you try to spray it out again, and because the defense is already getting reset, they pick you off and go run it out for a layup.
Yeah.
And it's like what you're saying. I mean, it's like the rhythm of the game, and then that just like continues to strip away their confidence, and it's this vicious cycle that is getting worse and worse with every game.
Yeah.
And it's just, we said it last night, but like this team just needs the All-Star break so bad to
So badly.
So
reset
bad.
things.
So bad.
I think I went on an angry rant not too long ago about how this team has been dead last in the NBA in 3-point attempts all season long. And I just did a quick check. Yep, sure enough, they're still there. But the margin has started to widen. Like the Bulls were somewhere a little bit like over 29, between 29 and 30 earlier this season, maybe just above 30 attempts per game, which was still last. They're all the way down to 28.6 threes per game now because in this recent stretch, not only have they lost their efficiency and their brick and everything, but they're only shooting, like last night, they took 21 threes.
Yeah, over their last 5 games, they're at 25 threes per game.
Oh.
And
What?
they are the only team in the league shooting below 30.
Correct.
Only team
Correct.
in the league shooting
The Pelicans
below
are
30.
29th at 30.4.
Wow.
And there were a bunch of teams, 30.4 up to 30.9. The Lakers in 24th. And, then the jumps get higher because a whole bunch of teams take a whole bunch of threes. It's just what take the Golden State Warriors, for example. 43.2 3-point attempts per game.
Wow.
43.2. The Bulls are taking 28.
They're taking what the Bulls take in a half. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy to me, man. But and then, to be bad at not only taking them, be bad at hitting them. You know what I'm saying? On top of that, it's just utter chaos from the 3-point line, man. And again, like you said with Billy, like that's where that fear kind of comes from, I'm sure. But we ain't got time because scared money don't make none, bro. You got to take the shot.
It was 3 of 21 last night. I think they were 5 of 26 on that game before that on Saturday night.
Yep.
So tomorrow night, what are we thinking? Like 4 for 22? 4 for 23?
I believe the last.
No, they were 5 of 21 the game before that, and 6 for 26 or 7 for 26.
Yeah. So the last 4 games, they have not hit 10 threes. I believe that's the case. I believe that's
they haven't
right.
hit more than
any of them.
5.
5 games where they haven't hit more than 7.
Correct. That's absolutely true.
God.
Yeah, man.
They are shooting less than 20, just under 20% in their last 5 games.
Yes, just under
20.8.
That
is
outrageous.
And that's why this argument that AK brought up at the post-trade deadline press conference does not carry water for me.
Correct.
Is yes, they are shooting, I think it's 15th in the league, or at least it was before last night's game, in terms of 3-point percentage. It was like just around 36. But these guys are not confident 3-point shooters. And most of the shots that they're getting are wide open, which means guys aren't closing out to them. And so for me, it's the same thing that is going to happen with their defense, where they're giving up a ton of open threes and teams are just not shooting high percentages. I mean, the Magic last night were just hardly better than the Bulls were in terms of 3-point shooting. That is not always going to be the case, and I think the Bulls could see some regression in terms of their percentage too, especially if they're just like the fewer you shoot, the less confident you shoot them, and the more important each make becomes. It's not like you can just have these high variance nights where you just, the Rockets, when they were sort of putting that Chris Paul, James Harden team together in order to try to beat the Warriors, it was like, we got to hit 23s 4 times out of 7. We got to make 23s 4 games out of 7. I'm like, I don't think the Bulls, that's even like within the realm of possibility for them.
Shout out to Tyler in the comments, and I'm sorry, but I think our producer Joey, who responded, is right. If you were hoping for Lonzo coming back to maybe salvage things, not this season. And Silent Coven. Maybe some teams are just throwing Russ's name around there, but there's real connections going on between Russell Westbrook and the Bulls.
There is. Yes.
Obviously, Billy Donovan is a big part of it.
Correct.
We've gotten from legitimate sources that Billy is on board. And that's not all. It's not just Billy Donovan. So we're going to dive back into NBA buyout market stuff coming up after the break.
Yeah.
What's going on? What's the latest? While we share with you all some words from our friends and sponsors, do us one quick, simple favor.
What's that?
And hit that thumbs up button. The like button, as some people call it. It's that thing coming out of Will's arm that he's raised in the air right now. Also, of course, make sure you're subscribed to CHGO Sports on YouTube, 25K and growing.
Yeah.
And
growing.
Exactly. What is that from?
10 million
10
strong,
million strong and growing. What was
that?
that ad from, though?
I don't remember. Kevin, what was that from?
Was it like a juice box?
10 million strong and growing.
Vitamins? Flintstone vitamins?
Flintstone vitamins? Yes. Flintstone vitamins. Yes. Yes.
We are Flintstone kids. Oh,
yes.
Man. Did you eat Flintstone vitamins?
This is why I love working here. I can get that answered immediately. Yes, I definitely had Flintstone vitamins as a kid.
Will?
I'm a growing boy.
I had them at like my friend's house. We never had them at my house.
At your friend's house?
Like if my friends had them, I'd be like, oh, I want
like
one
it was
of those.
drugs or something?
I want one of those.
Bro,
had
you got them
Flintstones
Barneys?
vitamins.
Yeah?
Yeah. Before my time, I didn't really understand the
They still make
reference,
them?
but
Of course they still make them.
Do they?
The Barney.
Yeah.
What was the best one, Lawrence? Dino? Yeah, Dino was fire. Yeah, Dino was fire.
The house where you get the Flintstones is also the same house where the parents let you smoke pot in the basement.
Where the parties are thrown at 16. You know what I'm saying? Where the key to the liquor cabinet just disappears all of a sudden. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I should hang out with Will a little bit more. All right. Because been on Flintstone vitamins a long time
Dave,
ago.
who's our first sponsor on deck today?
Oh, man. Somebody that Will loves dearly. And that is FOCO, ladies and gentlemen, because you already got the best coverage of your favorite teams. You're looking at it. Flintstone Vitamins. So get fitted around in the best sports gear around, y'all. And that is from FOCO. They got you covered from Soldier Field to the living room, from the north to the south side, with them hoodies, them slippers, them signs, them bobbleheads, and everything in betwixt. Get decked out like DeMar with apparel from the leader in sports merch and collectibles. Who that is? That is FOCO. Looking for the perfect gift for that football fan in your life? I know you are, even though the season's over, but you still want to rock that gear, don't you? Well, guess what? FOCO got you covered with them fly hoodies, y'all, to fight that Lake Michigan breeze. So check out FOCO.com or click the link in the description below. For all non-presale items, use the promo code CHGO and get your beautiful self 10% off, because it's FOCO. Show. Hey, gotta hit him with the pause, baby.
That was a long pause.
Yeah, had to hit him with it. Also, real quick, Matt Thomas, 2 of 5 from 3 in his first game, 6 points, and they won. Just want to point that out. Walked off the street, 2 of 5 from 3, baby. 2 of 5.
What team?
He's over in Greece.
Panthiakos,
Yes.
I believe.
Panthiakos.
Over in Greece. Well, and don't make me run down their history. That is the dynasty over there that came
Greek,
and got Matt
the Greek
Thomas.
dynasty.
So is he back on the street yet?
No, of course not. What are you talking about? They won. They bring in the legend. They win the game. That's how it goes, sir. That's how it goes. You will never hit an interview. He go over there and drop 30.
Seriously think you have a problem.
I'm gonna get Joey some video, some steals. I'm gonna get him all of that, man.
Can you? Are there?
I'm sorry, I call him Matty Legend. You're right, not Matt Thomas. Matty Legend. That's his name.
You can call him by his actual name if you want.
Mere mortals.
Does the fact that you didn't call him Matty Legend mean that you're slowly starting to lose your belief that he is in fact a legend?
Oh, no. I just wanted the people to hear his government name first. You know what I'm saying? They know him, you know what I'm saying, as Mr. 99 over there, or the greatest three-point shooter in the world.
No one knows
They
him
know
as
him
that.
as that. You know what I'm saying?
No one knows him as that.
Joey, see, this is why Joey got to have the graphic on deck. You know I'm putting out the call, Joey. I'm putting it out.
It's funny that, like, Dave rarely has just like these absolute meathead takes that he just clings to for dear life. But for some reason, Matt Thomas is the one.
You mean for some reason?
What do you mean? Thank you. Thank you, Joseph.
Best shooter of all time. Best shooter in the world.
What? That's not a meathead take. That is a fact, sir. That is a fact of life. Is Matty Legend is the greatest three-point shooter in the world, and he's proven it again. As he walked off the street over there in Greece.
He's proven it.
Splash.
In one game where he makes it 2 of 5.
Off the street, Matt. Off the street.
If the Bulls shot 40% on threes, I think we'd all be pretty happy with that.
Let Pat Thomas go 2 for 5. We're going to be ecstatic over here, man. Take 5 threes, we will be ecstatic. Shout out to the legend.
Well, you know what? Everyone needs to find their ways to laugh, especially in painful times like these that Bulls fans are going through. Something that I enjoy as something that helps lift my spirits.
I'm scared
in these dark times.
I'm very scared.
Is winning money on DraftKings.
That is true. That's
Obviously.
true. All right, I'll roll with him on that.
You got your NBA no sweat same game parlays where you can make yourself a boosted odds parlay, and then if it doesn't hit, you get a bonus bet back.
Yes.
Who doesn't want that? You've got the incredible offer for new customers when signing up with promo code CHGO, making a $5 bet on any NBA game and getting $200 in bonus bets instantly for making that $5 bet.
2 of them things.
Deals on deals on deals with promo code CHGO. And it's Tuesday. We got some NBA action on deck tonight, so it's time for our DraftKings pick of the week, gentlemen.
Yeah.
I was looking at the NBA slate tonight. A lot of weird games. We do have Bucks Celtics, but I'm just so confused when those teams play each other. You never know what the hell's going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm staying away from that one. I'm looking at a late night tip-off between the Wizards and Blazers.
Okay.
And my reasoning for taking the Blazers to cover -3.5 tonight is solely because as a depressed Bulls fan right now and looking for things to be happy about and looking to things to cheer for, the Blazers are only 2 games back of the 6th seed in the West right now. Okay? They are currently 11th. But we've talked about how crazy jam-packed that, part of the Western Conference standings is.
Jam-packed.
They are. I know people have said, oh, maybe the Blazers got worse at the trade deadline. Maybe they're giving up. They're throwing in the towel. The Blazers are 2 games back of the 6th seed. People have given up on the Bulls getting that Blazers pick this summer. I haven't yet.
I haven't.
And it would
either.
be a double win for the Bulls because the Wizards are ahead of them in the standings.
There you go.
That's true.
That's the opposite of a
Big-
double lose,
big
Bulls
game.
fans.
Big game for the Bulls.
Give me the Blazers. The Wizards are crap, okay? I have faith in my Blazers tonight. Shout out to our guy Sean Hyken. I got faith in my Blazers tonight to cover 3.5 against the Wizards at home.
Okay.
That's my DraftKings pick of the week.
All right.
Come on, Blazers. Get it done.
Give it to him.
Make the playoffs. Give us that pick. Don't forget that promo code CHGO when you sign up at DraftKings.
Yeah.
Do it.
You can do it. You can do it.
Okay, guys. Moving on. We have passed the NBA trade deadline. We are not quite to All-Star break yet. So this time of year, everybody's talking about buyout candidates. Let's start with the biggest name because no point in delaying that. There have been a few more rumblings from sources around the league about Russell Westbrook. Most people are expecting that he will get that buyout from Utah. It hasn't officially happened yet, but everyone has basically agreed he's not playing a single game in Utah. I saw something that the Jazz said, well, we haven't totally ruled that idea out.
Yes,
but
you did.
You did.
I saw
Yes, you
a
did.
quote, and I can't remember who to attribute this to, so apologies, but
Me.
it was probably Joey. But it was something like the Jazz have said, Russ, we welcome you, like we're happy to have you, but we're going to prioritize the development of our young players. We can't
Right.
guarantee you minutes.
Right.
So,
Which makes sense.
yeah.
Okay, so then a few people started throwing the Bulls out there as a potential landing spot for Russ. And then on Friday's episode of NBA Today, they had Woj on. And we didn't talk about it Saturday because Saturday was a busy game. And we just had post-game, no pregame. So in case y'all missed it, this is what Adrian Wojnarowski had to say verbatim on NBA Today on Friday. I think one team you've got to watch, and I think will be a front runner, is the Chicago Bulls. Billy coached Westbrook in OKC, and you go further down his bench, Mo Cheeks, Josh Longstaff. There is a staff of former OKC assistants that all had good relationships and worked well with Westbrook with the Bulls. So Woj pointing out it's not just the Billy-Russ connection, but that Billy brought in some of his former assistants in OKC that also had a strong relationship with Westbrook, and that being why the Bulls could be considered a front runner for his services. And that's Woj saying that. That's not just anybody saying that. That's Woj saying that. He also went on to talk about how the fit could be a potentially good fit. We've discussed ad nauseum at this point whether or not we all individually believe he's a good fit or not.
Yeah.
But that's interesting from Woj. Then this was said by Chris Haynes on his fairly new podcast with Mark Stein, which
Shout out.
definitely
Shout out.
start listening to that, y'all, if you haven't. I've always enjoyed Mark Stein and Chris Haynes and their reporting and their basketball takes. It's called the #ThisLeague Uncut Pod. Their newest episode yesterday, Chris Haynes said this: I was told Billy Donovan with the Bulls, his message has been relayed to Russ that Chicago should be the place for him. I don't know if they have talked extensively. I don't know if it was a text, but I was told his message has been relayed that Chicago should be the place.
Yeah.
End quote. That's two substantial NBA sources talking more about the Russ and Bulls connection being real. And then you had Billy fielding questions about Westbrook, before their game or after their game the other night, and he, in his position, can't talk extensively and openly about the team going after Russ at this point. So he merely was just kind of talking about his relationship with Russ. But glowing comments from Billy, and now you've got this from Chris Haynes saying, from his sources, Billy has made it known that he wants Westbrook here. What do you guys make of all these latest rumors?
Yeah, it falls in line, I think, with what I thought was going to be. Like, Billy Donovan wanted him here. He's going to go after him in some kind of way, and we'll see what Russ does. I like the fact Russ is taking his time because I believe you don't have to declare till March 1st if you want to make a playoff roster.
Yeah, I think that's the deadline for your new team. If you sign with a new team for you to be able to play on the
playoff
playoff
right.
roster.
It's March 1st, so he's taking his time, and in my opinion, he's just resting up. You know what I mean? He's resting up. getting prepared for his second win. He's 35, guys. So he's going to need some time off. So he's not a guy he's like DeMar. He's not going to take time off during the season, even with an injury. He's going to try to play. So it's good for him to take some time, get with his family, reassess, do all those cool things, go on vacation. Great. All that's fine for him. But soon he'll make that decision. I think it will be the Bulls. I think it will be between the Bulls and the Heat. If it was an actual debate between which teams he was going to go to, maybe the Clippers, are a dark horse also, because they also are a team that won them. Because they definitely need a point guard, and they are in the playoff and definitely trying to make that run. So
and
we'll
would
see.
Prevent Russ from having to move.
Correct. He can stay right there. He won't have to leave anywhere, playing in the same stadium. The question is, does he want to stay in that same place? Because they weren't too kind to him in his years that he was there. The Lakers are always king, there. So,
you know what Lakers fans fucking hate, though?
I know.
They fucking hate the Clippers.
Yeah, they hate the Clippers.
That would be the ultimate FU. I'm going to go to the Clippers and help them win, which I'm not sure he's capable of doing.
The Bulls would be even worse then for him. You know what I mean? If Bulls are worse here,
right, he would be the ultimate LA enemy.
Yeah, the ultimate one right there. So it's definitely tempting, but I don't know if he wants to continue in that same arena where that stuff was happening to him. Go to the guys where you've got the fresh start, where you had your best times of your career basketball-wise, was with Billy Donovan and that coaching staff. The triple-doubles, the MVP trophies, the things like that, was with Billy Donovan. And there's a chance for you to start. There's a chance for you to actually truly contribute on this team, more so than the others. Even the Clippers team, because the Clippers have shown they can play without a point guard, and Ty Lue is that good of a coach where he can sustain that for a while. And I think if Russ doesn't fit, if they realize he doesn't fit, they're not going to put him back in. They might sit him down because they're trying to make the playoffs. The Bulls, he's running out. You know what I mean? Next game, run it back out there again there, Russ. Keep going out there every time. I think if he's looking for playing time and ability to get out there and still show he can do it in case he wants another contract next year, honestly, I think the Bulls are the place for him.
So one thing that stands out to me from the availability during training camp and preseason and media day was it must have been like the Bulls TV reel or whatever, when Arturas said that relationships win championships. Mm-hmm. That's really stood out to me. Mm-hmm. And I've
heard organizations win championships.
I knew that was coming.
Continue.
But you look at the two players that the Bulls have signed this past summer. We got an off-day hat throw.
An off-day hat throw.
I even asked you, he's like, do you need your hat side table today? I was like, no, I don't think so.
Just always have it ready.
Just in case.
Always have it ready. Kevin, can we get that hat, please?
If you're busy, just leave it there.
It's literally in his office.
It's in his doorway. It's not in his office.
He took a step.
What a throw.
Frisbee champ.
That is an A+ Justin Fields pass right there. That was our guy, Kevin Koenig.
It's a great future Justin Fields receiver catch as well.
One-handed, baby.
Well done, sir.
Sorry to interrupt. We'll continue with that thought.
I'm amazed. But you look at the two players that the Bulls had this summer, Dragic and Drummond. Obviously, Dragic was recruited by Vooch. Those guys are close. Mm. Obviously, Dragic has played before with Andre Drummond and with Derrick Jones Jr. There's a reason why I think that these guys were there in the first place, is because they already have built-in relationships. Mm. I think there's a reason why the Bulls didn't make any moves this trade deadline, is because they didn't want to mess up the thing that they have right now. I think when you introduce new talent, it's very difficult to maintain.
The apple cart.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Obviously, if you bring Russ into that situation, you're going to do just that.
Yes.
But if you're talking about relationships, you don't really have one like Billy Donovan and his staff plus Russ.
It's true.
I think that could make a lot of sense from that standpoint. I wrote about it today also for our website, lchgo.com. But I think there's a world where he kind of helps you as a three-point shooting team, because it's crazy.
Yeah.
And it's not just because they're shooting 20% on threes over the last 5 games. But I put this in the article, but they're not generating enough threes, and the way to do that is to drive and kick.
Sure.
And they don't drive the ball. They don't get to the rim. And so if there's one thing Russ does well, it's put pressure on the defense, get all the way to the rim and spray it out. It's not that's not the end of the line. The guys still need to actually take their shots.
True.
But I think he actually could help them. He gets you out in transition. He obviously is going to bring energy and not just going to be part of this going through the motions offense that we've seen for the last however long. So I think there's ways that he helps you. I don't know if it's more or less than Patrick Beverly would, but I think the relationship is there. The role for him is there. The freedom to sort of rehabilitate his image and potentially get his next contract, I think could be really strong with the Bulls compared to the Clippers. So I could see it. I could see it happening. I think it could be a huge success. It could be a dumpster fire or anything in between. We have no idea, but I'm here for the chaos.
I'm here for the chaos. Yes, I'm here for the chaos. Bring me all of that.
Adam
Absolutely
in the
right.
comments asking, will having Russ in the locker room with a losing team be a even faster way to dismantle this team?
It could be.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know how Westbrook would vibe with this team, but the interesting thing is throwing him into a locker room where, as we were discussing in postgame last night, it seems like this group has given up.
Yeah.
Last night, they looked like they had no interest in playing.
Zero.
So what does a player like Russ, who has been traded and bought out, who is still not ready to say that he can't be a contributing player on a winning team, do to the vibes of that locker room?
Yeah.
That part of it would be fascinating to watch play out.
Yeah.
Which is part of the reason why I'm talking myself into being okay with this.
And I don't. And again, you could probably speak to this better than I am because you're actually in there. But I don't care how the vibe of the locker room is right now, because when you're 26 and 31, it's not good. That's how I look at it. You know what I mean? So injecting something in there that can, disturb your comfort, I'm completely with, because you're losing. You know what I mean? So I'm okay with the disruption of whatever is happening in that locker room, man. Somebody is, if you're in there singing Kumbaya, somebody got to come in with some AC/DC. You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody has to disrupt this. You know what I mean? And mess this up and, toss it around.
I don't know if AC/DC is even hard enough.
That's what give them Metallica.
Give him
you know what I'm saying?
Freaking Rammstein
get Slayer.
in there.
Like, you know what I mean?
Slayer, that could be good.
Like, get Megadeth. Like, anything. Get whoever. Pick one. You know what I mean? But it has to be disturbed because it's just too cool for me.
What's the best stretch of?
Could be disturbed. Yes, you can get disturbed. I'm sorry.
What's been the best stretch of any basketball the Bulls have played over the last 5 games?
The best stretch?
I'll give you the answer.
The Detroit when they went to Paris?
Over the last 5 games.
The last 5 games.
Don't they have a win? That they have a win 5 games ago?
All right, last 4 games.
Was it part of the Nets game?
No, it's part of the Memphis game.
It was part of last night's game, and it was Dalen Terry's minutes. Because he shook it up. He provided some freshness. That's what this team needs.
Yeah.
That's what I've been saying.
That's
all
what he's
along.
been saying.
It's true. They are just, it's depressed in there. Not like sad and like medically, clinically depressed, but like it's just dragged down. It's like just
you can feel it.
You can feel it.
Yeah.
I would say also the best part of me of that last night was after he hit his head. You know what I mean? Was the first person over there was like Kobe, like you damn right you hit your head. Yes, let's go. Like I was like, wow,
they're
Kobe's
looking
excited.
for something to be excited about, but there's just nothing there.
They were happy about something, and
but, also, I thought it was funny on the broadcast that Stacey was like, "Hey, we might actually need you to play some more minutes in the near future, Dalen. Let's not accidentally give ourselves a concussion and put ourselves in league concussion protocol."
Yeah, man.
Speaking of, real quick before we move on, I did see, some of you at practice today were talking about not just DeMar's injury, but various injuries. KC of NBC Sports Chicago just tweeted this out with the Bulls' newest injury report. Officially have ruled out DeMar for tomorrow night's game against the Pacers. Caruso questionable. Dragic probable. Popping onto that injury report with left knee soreness. Derek Jones Jr., who left last night's game, also ruled out.
Yeah,
so
I figured. Yeah.
No DeMar. Maybe Caruso out. Definitely DJJ out.
That's Dalen time.
Dalen Terry time, baby.
That's Scary Terry hours, baby. Get them Scary Terry hours. Get it going for the Chicago Bulls out there, man.
Silver linings for Bulls fans
Does
right
Casey
now.
just like have the injury report on refresh every hour on the hour? He always beats me to that.
Because he's focused, man.
That's a true professional.
It's a legend, man.
I mean, that's fast tweet stuff.
You know what I mean?
AK with a super chat, and then we'll get back to the trade buyout, the buyout market stuff. AK with a super chat asking, how do you guys feel about AK moving the goalpost, making second round compared to now just making the playoffs? I don't, from my perspective of what we've heard AK say, word for word, what we have heard him say, I don't think that there is a moving of goalposts in the terms that you just phrased, AK, saying our goal is to make the second round of the playoffs, and now saying, well, our goal is to make the playoffs. I understand where you're coming from. At no point in the beginning of the season stuff we heard from AK where he talked about improving upon last season's finish, he never said second round.
Never.
To my recollection, he never said second round of the playoffs.
I didn't hear
You
it.
might say that's a technicality, but he just said we want to do better than we did last season.
Right.
Theoretically, that could mean at least another 6th seed or making the playoffs, maybe whether or not you need the play-in to get there, making at least the first round of the playoffs and doing better than bouncing out in 5 games.
Yeah.
Technically, that would be better than last season.
Yeah.
Now, him and his comments at the trade deadline saying they've kept this group together, they decided that was better than any of the options that they had on the trade market, and that they still believe that this group can pull things together and get to the playoffs. That's what he said. He didn't say, and then we'll be done in the first round, because why the hell would he say that?
Right.
So I see what you're saying, AK, as far as moving goalposts, but he never said at the beginning of the season, second round or bust. And at the deadline, he didn't say, well, now we'll just be happy to make the playoffs. Because he can't go back on what he said at the beginning of the season, which whether or not you want to talk about technicality and phrasing and the specifics of that phrasing, he said improve upon last season.
Yeah.
And it's real cut and dry to say, did you or did you not when we get to the end of this season? And it's looking like no. So it's not like he's going to be let off the hook for that or allowed to move those goalposts.
They would need to go 21-4 to beat their record from last year the rest of the way. I mean, there's, like you're saying, there's technicalities to it. It's like, it could be, is your point differential better? Is your seeding better? Is your record better?
Yeah.
Do you win 2 games in a playoff series as opposed to just 1? Like, there's a reason why he didn't state specifically what outcome he's looking for. Now, after the deadline, he said the expectation is to make the playoffs. Not the play-in, but the playoffs.
Correct.
And if he's holding it to from the standard that he, expressed at the beginning of the year of being better than last year, does that mean getting the second round? We're not sure. But the expectation right now is to make the playoffs. And they are a half a game out right now of the 10th seed. They're in 11th.
Yeah. Yeah, he wants to go to the play. I don't, like you said, I never heard him say anything about second round or anything like that. But the goal was always playoffs. And like you said, like he's always said he's a very positive person. Like that's what he is. You heard it in the stuff he was speaking at the trade deadline. So anything positive that can come from going to the playoffs, like you said, like a change of point differential, like guys uptick in 3-point shooting, anything, he was going to hang his hat on that and going into next year. You know what I mean? Like, well, we got to the playoffs and this helped. This helped this player. This player did this there. Hopefully we carry that over into the season. So the playoffs are his goal, you know what I mean? Which is why I wanted a shooter. But the playoffs are his goal. So that's the goal, and that's the goal I'm going to be rooting for with him.
Yeah. Any...
The just another thing that they could be looking at, and something that they sort of pointed at, was that their performance against contenders or high-level teams is better this year.
He did point that out when he spoke at the deadline.
And while that's true, they've beaten the Bucks, they've beaten the Celtics. They are 14-20 against above 500 teams, 14-20, and they are 12-11 now after last night's loss against below 500 teams. So there's going to be work to do regardless. You could argue back and forth on all these different things, but last year 22-27 against above 500 teams, 24-9. So that's really the thing that stands out is like they're above 500 record, even though they didn't beat the Bucks or the Celtics or whoever, is about the same. But it's the inability to not only like beat, but like consistently put away the teams that you need to put away so that you can get into the 40s and wins.
Correct. I don't mean to put you on the spot with this, but I'm just asking, the rest of the schedule left, are they playing more below 500 teams or above 500
I'll
teams?
look into it right now.
I'm
sure.
fairly certain when we were coming into the deadline, their strength of schedule was like the second or third easiest across the league.
Yeah, I remember that.
Which
like it was like
I
top
would
3.
assume means that they might have a slight edge of number of sub 500 opponents left than
maybe
above 500.
Because I know they still got the Bucks to play. You know what I mean? Still some Philly games, you know what I mean, that they have to play. Still some Heat games they got to play. That
figure's always changing, though, based on how other teams are performing. So, like, your strength of schedule gets harder if a team that's, one game below 500 wins and they become 500.
Right.
So I'm not sure exactly what it would be today, but I'm looking it up now.
Sure.
AK with a follow-up comment after a super chat and after hearing our answers saying, improving upon last season would imply making it past the first round is how I interpreted his statement. That's how you interpreted his statement. That's fine for you. There's a reason he didn't explicitly say our goal is to make the second round of the playoffs. So why would any front office member who isn't sure if his team can do that say that and put himself on a hot seat, so to speak?
Yeah, and plus,
like you said, Dave, improving upon last season could mean a million different things if he wants it to.
Tons.
If he wants it to.
Correct.
I know Bulls fans will call bullshit on that, and you can't call bullshit on that.
Correct.
But it's not like he sat there and said, we're getting to the second round. That's the goal. Because he never said that.
No.
Never said that.
No, and that's also something you would probably say for a younger team as well.
Yeah.
Like if he says it, he's going to say a deep playoff run.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He's not going to say make the second round. No, he's going to say a deep playoff run for the veterans that we have on this team for sure.
Like, don't hang yourself. You know?
No.
Why would he do that?
No.
Okay.
Just real quick from Tankathon.com.
Shout out.
Bulls have the 17th hardest strength of schedule the rest of the way. 499 win percentage, tied with the Washington Wizards, who are 16th. They've got the Bucks twice. Obviously, that game is going to be Thursday. They've got the Nuggets, the Sixers twice, the Grizzlies, the Kings, who are on fire, the Nets, who still are good and just beat them, a couple days ago. So it's not like an easy path. But again, there's not like a trend we can point to of like these games are easy, they should win them, because they don't win those games.
Correct.
These games are hard. They should probably not win them. Well, they're winning some of those games. So we don't know what to expect from these teams. I feel like their strength of schedule almost doesn't matter with this team, which is pretty rare, I feel like.
Very rare, especially coming down, you're trying to make the playoffs. Like that's supposed to matter at this point in time, but you got a point, sir, as usual.
Okay. Wanted to touch on at least one more person that's still out there on the buyout market before we wrap up, but just real quick wanted to remind y'all out there in Bulls Nation, if you aren't a CHGO diehard member yet, that you should be. CHGO diehards get the best of the best and some of the exclusive content on all of our platforms, including some of that written content behind the paywall on our website, allchgo.com.
Yes.
But in addition to that exclusive top-tier level content, being a CHGO diehard also gets you amazing deals and discounts on all the other fun, awesome stuff we do and sell.
Yes.
Every time you go to CHGO Merch Locker, you're getting a 20% discount on everything you buy.
That's amazing.
Every time you check out, 20% off all of our amazing shirts and hoodies and all of our CHGO winter beanies, which, I know it's been warm recently, but we're about to get some snow tomorrow, I think, sadly.
Why are you saying stuff like that to me,
I'm just saying, people need the beanie. People need the CHGO
You're right.
beanie.
You know what? They need the beanie.
Get yourself one and get it at a discounted price
Hopefully
by becoming a diehard member.
But you still need the beanie.
All of the fun public events we do, like shout out to our CHGO Blackhawks guys who had an amazing takeover at the UC last Friday night. Sold out event for them. If you're a diehard member, you get discounted ticket prices to all of those public events.
That's a flex.
Also access to our awesome CHGO diehard happy hours that we do, some virtual happy hours. The Bears tailgates that'll be back next season.
Can't wait for them.
Woo! 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 And some tailgates for Sox fans.
Yes.
One good team.
Hanging out up at Wrigley with the Cubs crew.
Let's do it.
All of that stuff is discounted if you are a CHGO diehard. So do it. Sign up to become a diehard. Do it today. What are you waiting for?
What you doing?
Incredible value.
You know you wanna.
You know you want to.
You know you wanna.
Okay, guys. So there is another name. And it is a Chicago guy, and it's Patrick Beverly. And he did, yesterday, day before yesterday, reach a buyout agreement with Orlando after being traded away by the Lakers. People wondering where he's going to end up. People saying, hey, is he going to have a reunion with the Timberwolves? Is he going to have a reunion with the Clippers and say, hey, F you, Lakers, I'm staying here in L.A., and now I'm a Clipper again. I've also heard Milwaukee Bucks is a team who might have at least some modicum of interest.
I've heard Minnesota.
Denver Nuggets are another team I've heard him linked to. And then Bulls fans all the time wondering, well, is there anything? In one of Casey Johnson's latest, he did confirm, according to some of his sources, that Pat Bev and his camp and the Bulls have had conversations. So there is some there with Bulls and Pat Bev, Dave.
Oh, man. Dude. No one's going to – I'm worried about you. How do you feel about this one right here, sir, because we have had Patrick Beverly conversations in the past, and you know my track record. I don't go against the hometown. You know how I roll.
Yeah.
But Matt.
Look, again, to go back to Will's choice word, chaos.
Yes. He will burn it down, baby.
Dude.
Seth freaking Rollins. Burn it down. They need the kick in the ass, bro.
What, dude, just for the entertainment value.
Yeah.
Just for the goonage.
Yeah.
F it, why not? Basically, I feel the same way about Pat Bev right now that I feel about Westbrook, which is don't know if it's a great fit. Kind of think it's not a great fit. F it, why not?
F it, why not? I think that we all three of us here are okay with chaos. We're okay with the fire. You know what I mean? Because we've seen the cool. We've seen the water. We're sick of that. You know what I mean?
I don't know if chaos is a ladder like Lord Baelish claimed it to be in Game of Thrones. I think chaos could be a pit as far as the Bulls are concerned right now. Bulls fans feel like we're stuck in a pit. But
why not?
If we can't watch winning basketball, let's at least be entertained.
Come on and say that again. I like that right there. Entertain me. If you're going to be this, allow me to be entertained. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're going to make me watch this foolishness of this team, allow me to be entertained. Let me see Pat Bev grab a camera again from somebody and take it out to the ref and tell him it's a foul. Let me see him in the face of some of these players, these young guys, talking to him and yelling at him. Let me see him agitating and bothering the other team and Bulls fans going crazy because of it. Like, give us that kind of entertainment, man. Like, they need this injection. They just need the injection of that kind of energy, man. So that's all they got. You know what I mean? That's all you can hope for and roll with right now, because it ain't going to be the shooting. You know what I'm saying? It ain't going to be the pass. It ain't going to be any of those things. But the fire, the chaos, the goonage, all of that will be in full effect with one Patrick Beverly, sir.
And Bev can shoot the ball a little bit better. I think he fits a little bit, more seamlessly next to Zach and DeMar as far as a low usage guy who can kind of stand in the corner and shoot threes, but then also defends at a pretty high level. You can sort of split that timeshare with Io at the point guard. So I think from a basketball standpoint, there's probably an easier argument to be made that he fits. Bring me the chaos, as we've been saying. I would say, like, the thing that I point to is at the post-trade deadline press conference with AK, he didn't say, like, we believe in our group, we believe in continuity. Again, he said we wanted to be buyers, meaning we wanted to add talent, but the price was too high. And, last year we were kind of poking fun at the fact that the Bulls' big thing was going to be a buyout deadline acquisition, but that none of those guys were really going to have an impact because it was like that Kardashian guy, which is the wonderful quote from Sam Smith last night.
Shout out.
God, that was funny. Who's obviously not in the league anymore.
No.
But, either one of those guys I think could make an impact on actual basketball. Yeah. And that could be helpful. So, like, the idea of this 25 now games left being more of an evaluation period could mean evaluating that group alongside a new player, be it Patrick Beverly or John Wall or Russell Westbrook, as opposed to let's just keep the group together because we believe in what this could be, and, roster moves be damned.
Let me ask you, I just want to hear you say it, but who does Patrick Beverly or Russell Westbrook, either one of them, what player on this team does it immediately impact?
In terms of
anything, like in terms of shooting, in terms of scoring, in terms of their heart, whoever, like who do you feel will be immediately impacted by this?
So the thing that I think is sort of dangerous and chaotic about Russ is that he impacts everyone. You can't point to one person that he does not impact because he's going to have the ball in his hands. That impacts Zach, DeMar, and Vooch. He is going to cut into Io's minutes. He's going to cut into Patrick's touches. He impacts everyone. And I think that could be a good thing. It could be a disastrous thing. And that's why, like, it could literally go one of a million different directions. We have no idea on the multiverse where that ends up.
Okay.
Patrick Beverly, I think, affects Io more than anyone because he's going to be taking those minutes. The usage isn't going to be there. It's going to be spot up threes, but it's also going to contribute to more point of attack defense, which is something that if the Bulls don't have locked down at a really high level, that makes Vooch look bad. That makes everything else fall apart because the rotations aren't great with Zach and DeMar. So I think he probably helps you as a more seamless fit, but I don't think the upside is quite as high, but maybe they're not necessarily in need of upside. They're just in need of that one piece that kind of bolsters everything, keeps the ship afloat a little bit longer. So I think that's kind of what's intriguing to me about Russ, is that it could just be a complete disaster, because he could just absolutely change the entire outlook and makeup of this team. Whereas Patrick Beverly, I think you're doing a lot of the same stuff. It just comes at the expense of maybe Io's minutes.
Who do you think it immediately impact? Either one of those players. Who you think immediately is impacted by this?
Me.
How so?
As a Bulls fan.
Okay, fair.
Because I'm going to feel all kinds of ways about it.
Okay.
And it's going to teeter-totter between loving it and hating it.
Yes.
And, I mean, who are you, who is impacted more than yourself when you're trying to, answer that question?
That's the very Matt Peck answer, and I love it.
I'm a very self-obsessed person.
Yes,
I've never had
true.
any trouble admitting that.
This is very true. You know who I think it impacts immediately? Is Patrick Williams.
Yeah?
I think he is impacted immediately, because I dare you to go ahead and not take a three again with one of them two dudes out there. You want to talk about people yelling at him? DeMar yelling at you and Patrick Beverly or Russell Westbrook yelling at you is two different
If Russ
monsters.
passes you the ball and he does,
And you don't shoot it?
I shoot
Bruh.
4 3-pointers a game, and I'm Russell freaking Westbrook. I can't make 30% of them.
You know what I'm saying? Dude,
Shoot the ball, Patrick.
it's going to impact Patrick Williams immediately. I would want to be in on those practices.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To see that kind of stuff with that. I think they're going to be betwixt the crack of young Patrick, sir, if they get him.
Just before we get out of here,
betwixt.
real quick.
Two betwixt, one
people
podcast.
In the comments chiming in on Pat Bev. Jock Buzz saying Pat Bev is basically Dollar Store Caruso.
Damn.
AK saying, imagine Pat Bev crying after helping the Bulls make the play-in tournament. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, wherever he goes, it's going to be a team that's close to the playoffs or in the playoffs. I promise you that.
Well, I saw a clip of his podcast, which he does on Barstool, where he said he's talking to Eastern Conference teams. Obviously, the Nuggets signed Reggie Jackson. Doesn't sound like he can't go back to the Lakers. Right. I don't know how many Western Conference teams would be interested in his services. The Timberwolves, I guess, were not interested in a reunion.
That's interesting.
I did hear that from some source, yeah.
That's interesting to me.
So I guess the choice for him is do you want to help a team become a contender, or do you want to help some younger players get to the playoffs for the first time? Obviously, it's not going to be with Orlando because he just got bought out from there.
No, it's not going to be that.
But we'll see.
But he,
Windy City Vids, Pat Bev would be a great leader to this team. He got the Timberwolves to the play-in. Seriously, man. I don't know if he single-handedly got the
seriously,
Timberwolves
let's
to the
slow
play-in.
down with
Let's
that.
pump the brakes
Let's slow
on
down
that.
with that there.
They have Anthony Edwards.
Yeah. He helped.
Saying UNCO said, I would hate Pat Bev on this team, but admittedly he would bring much-needed fire. Meanwhile, our guy Fly the Dub saying any new blood at this point. Yeah.
Any blood.
I'm sick of the current blood. We got to wrap up.
Yep.
They need a
We got to wrap up.
transfusion.
All right, everybody, thank you for tuning in. Hit
the
that
like.
like button if you haven't yet before you head out. Make sure you are subscribed. We will be back tomorrow.
Happy
Bulls,
Valentine's
Pacers.
Day.
We're going to watch them try to get their shit together.
Love
we'll
y'all.
see. In the meantime, Will_Gottlieb, bow, BAWL Sports.
Get some flowers
Bull
and candy.
Peck at Joey Spathis is our man, our producer. We'll talk to y'all
And some
tomorrow.
Roman.
See Red, be good. Happy Valentine's Day. I don't love you right now, Bulls. I don't.
I
I'm
love
sorry.
you always.
It's not me, it's you.
Peace.